Today we're going to go through the process of how to secure your ASUS RT-86U router and your internal network. Let's get started. I am going to log into my router currently. We're going to secure our router by using three different methods. We're going to be using the AI protection, and we're going to be using the current firewall that comes with by default with the ASUS router, and we're going to use a third-party firewall called SkyNet. First of all, we need to make sure that our router is running the latest version of Merlin ASUS Merlin firmware. At the time of this recording, the latest version is 386.7_2. So first things first, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using a third-party firmware application called AMTM, which is the ASUS Merlin terminal menu. By default, the ASUS Merlin terminal menu comes pre-installed on the 384.15 and above firmware. To access the AMTM software, you would need to perform an SSH connection to the router. So first of all, I would have to make sure that Telnet or SSH is actually configured on the router. So we would go to Administration, System, and we would select go down to Services, Enable SSH. By default, it is set to no, but we're only going to enable it for LAN only. We have LAN only and LAN and WAN. Using the LAN only, we would allow SSH to be connected to this router using the default port of 22. So we would select Apply. To actually connect to SSH, you would need a terminal emulator. The one I've been using is Putty. It's a free software on the internet, and we're going to be connecting to the default IP address of 192.168.50.1 on port 22. Okay, this would give you a first time connection warning, so you would just accept the connection certificate, and we would log in with our admin account as well as the password. Okay, and to access the AMTM software, we would just select AMTM. Since this is the first time we're setting it up, there is a default window. We need to select the theme. So the theme that we're going to be selecting would be just the basic. So we would put in option 12. Okay, that would just set up the terminal menu. So what we're going to be doing now is that we're going to be setting up SkyNet. To set up SkyNet, there are some prerequisites, and one of the prerequisites is to make sure that you have a flash drive, which you would actually plug into the back of the router that we're going to be using for saving all the logs. So I would select option I here. That would show all available scripts or tools. The one that we're going to be doing first is we're going to be setting up and formatting the disk. So we're going to be using the option FD, which is running the format disk option. Okay, and we have the option to continue. One is yes, and E for exit. We're going to be selecting one for yes. So it's actually seeing my 8 gig hard drive, so I will be selecting option 1. We will be selecting option 1 to continue again. This will delete all of the following. So it's going to be formatting your flash drive. So make sure that you have a drive that you would want to get rid of all the information. So now we need to select the partition. So the option that we're going to be selecting is option 1, which would give us ext file system only. So it would give us the ext2, ext3, and ext4 for newer routers. So we're going to be selecting option 1. We're going to be selecting option 4, which is the ext4, and we will be enabling journaling. 1. We're going to set a label, and we enter the label name. I would be using it as a swap file, and we select 1 for continue, and 1 again. This is going to format the disk now. So it's going through the process of stopping the service, and it's going to be formatting the drive. So it shouldn't take that long. Okay, while that is going ahead, it should almost be finished. It's just setting this device label now. Okay, and it's finished. What it would do is that it would reboot. It requires a reboot of the router, so we'd hit enter to continue. And right now it's actually in the process of rebooting the router. So I would do a continuous ping to verify that the router comes back up. 92.168.50.1. So the reboot normally takes less than a minute, so it should give me a response in a few seconds here. Once that is done, we are going to be logging back into the router via SSH again. So as you can see, I'm getting response now, so I am going to start a new terminal session. I'm going to do a duplicate session. I'm going to log in. Okay, and I'm going to go back into the AMTM software, and we're going to run another option. So we're going to use I. And what we're going to do now is one of the requirements for running SkyNet is making sure that you have swap file, or you have a swap file partition. So we're going to enter the option SW. Do you want to continue? Yes, we would select 1. So it actually sees the formatted partition that we just created a while ago. So we're going to select 1. And we're going to select 1 for continue. Yes. Okay, and we're going to select the swap file size. So currently we're going to select 2 gigs, so that will be option 4. So what would happen is that it would go through and create the swap file. So while that is doing, I would give you some information on SkyNet. I would post this link within the description so you can get some more information of SkyNet. SkyNet is a comprehensive IP banning and security tool exclusively for ASUS devices. What it does, it's more or less functions on the current firewall settings, but it just enhances it, the firewall settings, so that the functionalities such as the stateful packet inspection firewall, brute force detection, and AiProtect, it would add additional features onto it. So it would give you high visibility of all traffic in and out of the router. Also too, I would be posting some information on the AMTM, the ASUS Merlin terminal menu. So I would post this link so it would give you additional information on that particular feature that is available on all Merlin routers with version 384.15 and above. By default, it comes installed, pre-installed on any version above 384.15. This gives you a list of at least some of the supported scripts that the AMTM software is currently available right now. So you can go, it's a very long comprehensive list. So you can actually go through all the menus and see what is applicable to you and what you can take full advantage of. Also, I would post a link that would give you some additional information on a forum, the SkyNet forum, where you can actually ask questions if you're have any queries, problems experiencing with SkyNet. You would be able to post any question here and get any answer that you would like. So let's check back on our installation right now. Okay, it's just taking a few minutes. If you want, you can pause the recording right now while I fast forward a little bit so that you wouldn't have to go through all of this. Okay, as you can see now, the swap file is currently created. So the next step in the process is we're going to be installing SkyNet itself. So we're going to go going back into I to show all available scripts. And we're going to be looking for to install SkyNet. So as you can see here, the option is number 2. Install SkyNet, the router firewall. So we're going to be selecting option 2. Okay, as you can see, this installs SkyNet router firewall and security enhancements on your router. So we're going to select option 1. We're going to be selecting to select the partition. So the partition that is available is 1. And the type of traffic we want to filter is 1. We want to select and filter all traffic, both inbound and outbound. We would like to enable logging. This enables us to make sure that we see all available traffic so that we can monitor and make any adjustments. Would you like to enable malware blacklist auto update? So we're going to be doing a daily auto update, which is option 1. And would you like to enable weekly SkyNet updating? So we're going to be selecting 1. This would actually make sure that the database is current up to date with all possible malware threats. So right now it's going through the process of installing and validating SkyNet. So as you can see right now, we have SkyNet currently installed. We formatted our disk and we enable swap file creation partition. So the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to verify that everything is currently up to date. So we're going to select the option U. Okay, so as we can see, everything is up to date. So we're going to select M to go back to the menu. If you would like to see all the options available for SkyNet, you can select option 2. And this would give us a total rundown of the menu of what we can do within SkyNet. So for now, we're going to exit out of that menu. And we are going to go back into our router. Okay, and if we scroll all the way down to Firewall, we should have a new menu which calls SkyNet. Okay, it doesn't have any information right now, as there is no traffic going through the router currently. So what we're going to do is we're going to enable two additional features to assist in protecting our router and our network. The first is AI protection. What AI protection does, it protects the router, the connection to the internet, and any devices that is connected to the router. As you can see here, option 1, router security assessment. Option 2 is malware side blocking. Option 2 also is two-way IPS protection. And we have option 3, infected device prevention and blocking. So we're going to turn on AI protection. Gives you a disclaimer. AI protection is used by Trend Micro. So we would accept the terms and condition. Okay, so that actually turns on all the different features. And what we see here is we have two risk assessment here for the router. So we're going to select scan, and the two option that it's suggesting that we need to look into as part of the router security assessment to make sure that it's secure is WPS disabled and UPnP service disabled. So we're going to be trying to make sure that we tighten up on our security on our router. So you can just select the no option here. That would bring up the actual WPS page, and we're just going to actually turn this off. This was one of the first assessment. The next one we will just close, and we are going to refresh the page. So now we're down to one risk assessment, and that would be the UPnP service. So we're going to go to that, and that would be, let me just get that option. Where is it? UPnP. Okay, so enable UPnP. So we're going to say no, and we're going to apply. So this way it actually makes sure that your router is secured. So we're going to go back now to our AI protection and run that again. So now we are good. So it says safe, everybody is green, and we're good. So the next option we're going to be doing is we're going to be going to the firewall and make sure that SkyNet is enabled. So IP banned, so it shows us all the IPs that is banned as it updated its information. So the next we're going to go to administration, and what we're going to do is make sure that AI protection is currently updated. So as we can see, the latest update for the signature for Trend Micro is 2.316, which was updated recently as of today. So we are good to go on this right now. So the other thing that we need to verify or we can check out is when you go into AI protection, you have three additional tabs here: malicious site blocking, two-way IPS, and infected device protection and blocking. If you select each tab, it would give you additional statistics and information of what threats the router actually found and what was actually done to it. There is one other area that is very helpful in securing and making sure that your router and your network is safe is if you go to system log and you select general log, you would see all activities that is happening currently right now with your router. Any IP addresses that are blocked or any issue that is detected, it would be logging inside of here. So you can always look for any blocked IP addresses, both inbound and outbound. One other thing that just in case you would like to know is if an IP address is blocked and you need to have access to it, you can log into the AMTM software and you would go to option 2 SkyNet and you can add a whitelist option 4. This way, if for example it might be blocking Facebook or anything like that, you can actually find the IP address of the block site within the general log and you would come to option 4 and you would put in either an IP range, a domain, or a domain, and that would allow the block packet to actually go through the firewall. Okay, we can select option 1 here or E, and we're going to exit out of AMTM. One other thing, if you have an issue with SkyNet and you would like to uninstall it, you can go back into option 2 and the option is number 15 and that would actually uninstall SkyNet. Okay, we would exit out of AMTM. And to verify that your swap file is currently being used, you can actually go to Tools and you would see that your swap file here is currently being used. Right now it's not being used because there is no information that is being saved on of traffic that is passing through SkyNet. That is all for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much.